Okay, let's talk about QuickBooks Online estimates and, in particular, how they interact with purchase orders and invoices. I like to start every video off with a quick answer, getting straight to the point. To create an estimate in QuickBooks Online, you're going to go to Sales in the left menu and then to All Sales, and you're going to come to this New Transaction drop down, and you're going to click Estimate. That's to create an estimate. To create a purchase order from an estimate is sales on the left menu, then customers, and select the estimate uh, colored box on the what they call the money bar. Okay, so we'll back out of that. Go to customers. And click on estimates. And since I didn't create one, you're not going to see one here, but what you would do is click on the open estimate here. The link would be here. And then you would select the appropriate estimate, change pending to accepted, change create invoice to copy to purchase order. Then to convert an estimate to an invoice, you're going to come to the same section here, which was sales, again, customers, and the estimate box on the money bar. And you're going to click Start Invoice, which will be in the action column here. Okay, so open the estimate to create a PO, action column to create an invoice. So that's a quick answer. I'll get into a little more detail like I like to do in all my videos now. So we'll start off very elementary, even talking about what are estimates. And of course, that's just an offer to a customer that says how much you will charge them for a set of products and or services. It is a non-posting transaction in QuickBooks Online, meaning it doesn't make a GL entry, doesn't post to the general ledger. All right. Estimates typically, if your business is going to require them, it will be larger customers or government entities that require bids for jobs or something of that nature. So every customer, of course, isn't going to require an estimate. If you're already in business, you know that. And what's nice about it is the detail from the estimate can be transferred to, like we said, purchase orders to go to vendors, so you don't have to re-enter information. And of course, that would be for the products and services needed to complete the bid. And it can also be the detail can be transferred to invoices for customers to bill for the work that you specified in the estimate. It saves having to re-enter information. And also, a big thing that I always kind of preach on my channel here is that your accounting system needs to match reality as close as possible and in as timely a manner as possible. And entering invoices where they're needed is one step towards making that happen. Okay, so we'll go back to creating an estimate here, and I'll walk through it a little more slowly in a little more detail. I will start off with a caveat. I haven't even tried it tonight. This is like the third time I've tried making this video. The sample company in QuickBooks Online, which of course, is what I want to use when I'm making YouTube videos for the purpose of privacy, but it doesn't always work right. Anyhow, so, I like to not only explain stuff, but also demonstrate it. And I'll do my best to do that. And you'll see what I mean. If it goes without a hiccup, then great. If it doesn't, then, I warned you ahead of time. I've got to, it's my goal to get this video cranked out. I've got kind of a backlog. So I'm just going to push forward and work with what I got. So, anyways, creating an estimate, okay? Like I said, you go to the sales section on the left menu and then all sales. And you're going to click on the new transaction drop down in the top right. You're going to select estimate. New transaction, estimate. Okay. So first thing, of course, will be to select a customer that you're making the estimate for. If a customer isn't already in your system, you can add them here, I'm pretty sure. Yes, you can click add new, but we'll go with one of these existing customers here. We'll go with the Duke's basketball camp. Okay, and it populates information, email, address, all of that. You'll want to select an estimate date and an expiration date. Again, this estimate date suggests if you made an estimate today, enter today. If you made it a week ago, enter a week ago. It just helps your accounting system reflect reality. Ideally, you would have entered it within that week's time, but if you didn't, you didn't. You can only, the second best time to enter it is right now. So we'll say this estimate lasts for 2 weeks in our example here. And then you're going to choose product and service from the drop down here. And we'll say, we'll keep it simple here, pest control services. Okay, just quantity of 1 hour, $35 per hour. Like I said, edit the rate or amount if needed. If you're doing an estimate dealing with a big customer or a big company rather, or a government entity, you might want to tweak that rate to be more competitive. That's obviously up to you, but you have the opportunity to do that there. Then you'll click save and send. Let's see if it takes. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Get this error, so it's just not going to work quite right. But let's pretend that got sent to Duke's bball at intuit.com with no problem. And we can try save and close here, not sending. I bet we'll get the same error. Okay, well, we've done what we can. Yep. If you do click save and send, you'll get the opportunity to preview the estimate. You'll get to see the PDF that the customer would receive. Make sure that looks the way you want it to. And then you would hit send and close, which is another green button. That's not what I want. Let's see. Okay, so creating a purchase order from an estimate. You're going to go to, like I said, sales in the left menu, but customers this time. Sales, customers. Of course, from here, you could click it on that top menu too. Now you see it does show estimates here. We're already on it, but you would click on the blue box there, the money bar. Is that what they call? Which I guess makes sense. And it's going to show your estimates down here. And shows Duke's basketball with 2 open estimates. And that's what you're going to click, is that little link there. 2 open estimates, because I hit save and send and then I hit save and close. So it thinks we've got 2. We'll just use one as an example, of course. And you want to click on the appropriate estimate. We've got duplicates here, but we'll click on this top one to open the estimate up. And first thing we're going to do, if we're going to go ahead and submit a PO to our vendor for pest control, I know that doesn't make sense in this case. You would obviously, whatever. In theory, you could subcontract it out or something. But anyhow, we're just making an example here. But so say we needed to buy, we can edit it too. For pest control, maybe we need rocks to throw at the pest. That's how we control them. I know typically you would leave that the same for whatever materials. We want to change the status to accepted. You can put information in the buy and date there, don't have to. And change pending to accepted. Then see, oh, right. So you want to click where it's going to say create invoice here. We don't want to do that quite yet. First we got to do the work, copy the purchase order. It says, yeah, it's some may not carry over. if the item is the product or service entered is not purchased, it probably wouldn't carry over. And then, so we say, okay, leave without saving. It's going to take us to a purchase order here. And ordinarily that would carry over there. And you would choose your vendor. Go to the next slide here. Select your vendor. From item details drop down. So we're going to buy our rocks from Bob's Burger Joint. And we'll call it Rock Fountain. And we'll break it up and make rocks out of it. Okay, but anyhow, you see the workflow. We would then hit save and send, or save and close, or save and new. If we had another one, you would enter an email, make sure they have an email there. Save and send. And here's, let's see if it pulls up the preview. Yep, okay, there we go. We're buying a rock fountain to break apart, to make rocks, to throw at pests. There we go, send and close. Yeah, of course, this is a sample company, not a real, so nothing technically gets sent, but again, you can see the workflow there. Okay. Okay. So that's creating a PO. Remember, we selected the estimate and then selected create PO from that drop down in the upper right. Now we're going to convert the estimate to an invoice. We can say the work's done. We've bought the fountain, broke it into rocks, throw the rocks at the pests, and now we are going to bill the customer based off of that estimate. So same thing, sales left menu, customers, we're already here. We want to select the estimate from the money bar, and just to clarify, that is select estimates, and then we can start invoice. I think we also could have selected the estimate below, since that's where it backed us out to. But just you're typically not going to go straight from creating a PO to creating an invoice. So we'll go through the steps as they are outlined in the slides there. Okay, so we want to click Start Invoice in the action column. We did that, and that took us here to the invoice screen. And we want to add the appropriate estimate. Well, it was this top one here for pest control. Okay. And that, notice it pulled it out of this sidebar and dropped the information down into product and service. We could also, if we bid 2 separate jobs of pest control, we could also add this second one too. You can add more than one estimate to an invoice. And that enters the details for the amount to the invoice. And then, she's ready to go. You can all this over here is kind of in the way. Here, move the screen over. Okay, you can look at your subtotals and everything, put in your appropriate tax as needed, and you can hit save and send, or save and new, or save and close. Error loading transaction. And like I said, that's the QuickBooks Online being glitchy, but you get the point. So we went in, hit start invoice from estimates, dropped in the appropriate estimate information, details, the appropriate details into the invoice, and sent it on to Duke's basketball camp once the work is finished. All right. So that's it. That's dealing with estimates, creating estimates, pulling information from estimates into purchase orders, and pulling information from estimates into invoices. Bookkeeping and QuickBooks Online in particular is good, but technology not without its glitches. And the last thing you need after a long day of work, working on your business, is to deal with the hiccups with software. So one thing you might consider is taking a look at BotKeeper. What they are is an AI driven, artificial intelligence that is driven bookkeeping service where the AI does most of the heavy lifting, and it also has a human touch to kind of qualify, to get a human set of eyes on your books. And it allows you to automate bookkeeping tasks that you hate to do. It helps you avoid dealing with internet outages. It's not always just the software. If your internet provider's like mine, it can be a little frustrating too. And you can focus more on your business, less on data entry, spend more time helping it grow, and less time on menial tasks with BotKeeper. So there's a link to check out BotKeeper down in the description. If bookkeeping is not your cup of tea, then certainly give them a look. So that's everything I've got. And anyhow, if you like the format of this video, I try to do all my videos like this, where I start out, just give you the quick answer. If you're in a hurry, just want quick information. But then if you decide you want to go into more detail or understand a little more the subject in depth, then I do that also. If you think that format's good, and if you like that and the information helped you, you can give the video a like. And on the same token, if you find yourself searching for QuickBooks Online topics fairly frequently, then consider subscribing to my channel, and that way you'll know to click on Spreadsheets for Business in the YouTube sidebar there. Check and see if I've made a video on the subject, and if I have, you can watch it, and if not, then you can enter it in the search bar and roll the dice. So anyhow, that's all I got, everybody. Appreciate you watching. Take care.